All right, we're on Fish Lake and it's a tournament day on a lake we haven't fished before. There goes Spencer, gonna crash into my boat. And we got Greg back there. Greg's joining us for this new lake tournament, Jigs only. All of us can only use jigs and pigs, and you know, it shouldn't be a problem, except none of us ever use them. We don't know how to use them. We've got old ones, skirts are falling off. So jigs are the only thing we can use. Let's see how we do. We've got 4.5 hours, 6 o'clock. We're gonna fish till 10:30. So I'm starting right here by the launch. There's a kind of a deep flat, I guess, 10 feet deep. Leads out to a little sunken island, and then there's a deep side on that. So I'm gonna work this area first, see what I can catch. Start off with a little green pumpkin kind of colored jig, about a 1/2 ounce. Just like a good all-around jig. Got a Christy craw on there. See if we can't catch something on this jig. I decided to start here. I thought this might be a kind of a recharging spot. Any tournaments that were here and they all dump their fish out of the live well, this would be the first spot they would come to and kind of hang out maybe for a little while before they move on back to the rest of the lake. We went right over the sunken island and it looked like it's about 4 feet deep, mixed vegetation on it. And now we're on the deep side of it towards the main lake, and we're gonna fish the sharper edge. See if we can't catch anything. We've been fishing for about 20 minutes or so, so no bites yet. Right now we're sitting in 18 feet of water. Greg started over there behind us on the west shoreline. He's worked his way up to about there. Spencer's hit a couple points already and looks like he moved over kind of near where Greg started. He might try it going into the other lakes. Looks like Greg got a 16-incher already. 1.54 pounds. So Greg's on the board. We're falling behind already. Seeing lots of dimpling on the surface, so there's bait around on this island. Got 9 different jigs tied up. I should maybe switch, try some of these other ones. The heaviest ones I put on my rods with braid. Try to fish in pads or thick weeds or whatnot. And then the rest of them are all on 8-pound fluoro. What all my spinning rods are, that's all I have. This is probably why I don't fish jigs a lot. Maybe it feels more like a bait caster bait. Hopefully we can catch something on it. There's a fish. Oh, it's behind you. That's a keeper. Keep him on. He's right behind the engine. Come on. Oh, threw the jig. How did he throw a jig? 3 jumps. It was about a 16-incher. Wasn't huge by any means, but there's one. Another jumper. Stay down, jig fish. He's not big. Not big at all. But if he's 14 inches, we can B14, 13 3/4. But that's 2 quick bites on the deep side of the island. Let's try another jig. I'm gonna switch to this little football head. I got a little purple in the skirt. I put on a black and blue craw on this one. And this is a chigger craw, 3-inch chigger craw. So let's see if we can't catch something on this combination. All right, it's almost 7 o'clock and we've been fishing this island, sunken island, for about an hour now. The camera was off. We just caught a 12 1/4 on it. We switched jigs, trying this one, the black and blue chigger craw, a little football head jig, and fishing between the island and the shoreline this time, and just caught one. It was only like the 3rd or 4th cast with this jig, so there's kind of a shallow area there. So I was fishing around, and then this is like a longer, deeper, weedier part of the island. Greg caught a 14-incher that only weighed 0.5 pounds. That doesn't seem right. But Greg's got 2 fish in the boat. We're about 2 pounds according to his scale. Hopefully that wasn't a big bass. It felt solid. Could have been a pike, could have been a walleye, could have been anything. But that sucks. Good thing we've got 8 other rods to use. Let's go back to that first one we had. Phew. Just got to kind of the end of the 10-foot section on the map of the north side of this point. And I'm marking some stuff down there, so I don't know what that was, but it's got my bait now. But a little bigger football jig, got a rattle. I don't even know what that is, a rage craw, I think, old one. A little black and blue one I've had a while. It's got a rattle on it as well. Give that one a shot a minute. This is about where we lost that keeper this morning. 7:30 now, so that was about an hour ago. That might be a keeper. Maybe. I don't know how many fish maybe I've missed from not recognizing the bite. Another 13 3/4. Hook's so rusty on that one, we just caught a fish. Try a more subtle, I don't know what this is, maybe a 3/8 or 1/4 ounce or something like that. Jig with the that Christy craw on there, I believe. So I was going to save this one for skipping docks, but I'm going to try it out here where we're catching some fish. Maybe they want a little smaller, lighter jig. At least we caught some fish. They want to come out here and fish a jig for 4 hours and catch nothing. Then they would never see the light of day again. Spencer's coming back out of Finch Lake, maybe? Take that, Spencer. Ooh, what do we got? This might be a keeper. It's awfully close again. We've caught bass on 3 different jigs. None of them are keepers. 13 1/2. There, that's a keeper. 1/8. I don't know when the GoPro died, but we just caught this one. It's gonna be a 17, 18 incher. 17 1/2, so I'm a good guesser. 210. Weighed it twice, 210 both times. So 17 1/2 incher on the jig. I felt that bite, popped it. Here we go. See if we can catch a couple more. So I was just about thinking it's time to run, try some other spots. Been here 2 hours. Stayed pretty much in the same spot, but we're getting bites on jigs and landed 2 out of 3 keepers so far, so maybe we'll stay here for the whole time. That puts us at 4.2, and according to Greg, he's at like 2 pounds because somehow his 14 incher was only 0.5 pounds. I think it scales up off. He caught a 20-inch bowfin, and that was only 1.5 pounds as well, so it's not weighing right, I don't think. Spencer's only been catching dinks, he says, so for shorts anyways. I don't know if they were all dinks. They might be 13 3/4 like I've caught. We know there's fish here, we know there's bait here. I think maybe we just hang out here for a couple hours. I want to see the rest of the lakes. We'll wait till the end. If we get a big enough lead, maybe we can run around. But Greg was having phone problems last night and this morning. His phone wasn't working at all. Couldn't receive any messages or texts, and he hasn't replied anything in a while. I half wonder if maybe he's catching fish and can't send anything, so he's just taking pictures of them. There's a fish that hit on the fall. There's like a keeper. Small keeper, maybe. Be a keeper. 13 3/4 again. Man. He hit it when it was falling. Just felt my line kind of tighten up like a Cinco bite. Set the hook and he was there. You know, I'm not a jig fisherman. I've read about him a lot. And a couple things. I think Spencer's running across in another pocket, going to a point. One thing I did to a lot of my jigs is I trimmed the weed guard down using spinning rods with lighter line. Didn't want a big weed guard to go through. And then I also tried to shorten the length of these craw trailers some. So I nipped off 1/2 inch or so. Try to make it a little bit more compact. A lot of these little fish, didn't want them grabbing at the back end of it. So a couple modifications I made. I also, some of these jigs are so old, I tied the skirt on with some braid on a few of them. One of them, the skirt fell off before I tied it on. So I had 12 jigs. One of them, the skirt fell off, so I was down to 11. I tied on 9 rods. I caught another 14.5 incher that apparently is only 0.5 pounds again. But if we adjust Greg's weights, me and him are almost tied, I'd say. Not too surprised Greg's doing well with the jig. He fishes a tube a lot. At least we know that Greg's phone's working, so he wasn't catching a whole bunch of fish that we don't know about. Gonna go around, now we're fishing the shallow, the shoreline side of this island, go around it once with this same small jig. 8:30, we have 2 hours left. Another 13 3/4 inch. Just caught one on the drop again, just cast out. I think it's probably another 13 3/4 inch. No, it's a keeper. Let's use the net. Should have not used the net. Hit it on the fall, fishing off the north end of the point. Hook just came out. Terrible net job. That's got to be 14.5, 15 inch. Go with 15.5 inch. 110. All right, it's been kind of slow, but still using the smaller one. Looks like I need a new crawl bait on there though. That one's toast. I just felt my line tighten up just a little bit as it was dropping down, so I don't know what depth he hit it at, but fishing off the north end of this sunken island. And we felt a couple of nibbles earlier, and finally got one to bite, so. Spencer up there, he's fishing our spot on the island. Oh, little guy. Thought he was going to be big. He's not big. 12 3/4. Spencer's leaving the spot without even hitting the good part. Trolling motor down, he must be just scanning. There's another small one. 13 incher. Spencer may be done. All right, about 9:45 right now. Spencer left, like 9:15, something like that. He was done. He hadn't caught any keepers yet. He caught a bunch of 13 inchers. I've caught, what, 4 or 5 that were 13 3/4. And Greg keeps catching 14 inchers, 14 and a half inchers, 15 inchers. But his scale keeps saying they're like 0.6 pounds. So he's got, I don't know, 7 pounds, I'm guessing. So I think Greg's beating us for total weight. All right, there's their total weight winner, Greg. And big fish winner, me. Take it easy, Greg. All right, so that wraps up our jig fishing tournament. Greg won total weight, even though his scale was way off. He caught 5 keepers, and I'm sure they were all at least a pound each, so, or more. So I'm gonna give him the win for total weight. And I got big bass with that 17 and a half incher. So not a bad morning. Caught fish on the Jig and Pig. Spencer caught fish too, but he didn't catch any keepers. They were all 13 inchers and around there. So I'm not sure if he caught them all on the swim jig like he planned on using. He ran around and tried a lot of spots, hit the points and whatnot. And Greg pretty much stayed in one spot. He fished this west shoreline, got to an area he liked that he was catching fish right here. And he just kind of stayed there and fished for a while. So him and I both kind of had about the same approach. Just fish a little slower, fish deeper, and find an area and just kind of stick in that area for a while. But good job to him finding 5 keepers. I couldn't do that. So we're just going to explore real quick. Going to run up into Saddlebag. I just want to see what that lake looks like, get an idea. I'm not going to fish at all. I put all my rods away. It's time to go home. But I do want to see what that lake is like. Pretty nice little group of lakes though, nice and natural. I like it. So, like I said, a lot of natural area. We caught some fish. We didn't catch any giants. There might be some in here. Looking at the Master Angler Awards for this lake, it was only, what was it, gar and bowfin or something like that? I don't know. Didn't give you a lot of hope that there's a lot of big bass in here. But it's got fish, and there was lots of bait by where I was fishing by that island, and lots of area to explore. So, and there might be walleye in here. Supposedly they stock it. So if you're a walleye fisherman, it might be worth a try. I don't mind catching walleye if I happen across one, but I'm not usually targeting them specifically. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this Jigs Only tournament special, brought to you by a bunch of novices, me, Spencer, and Greg. So it was a good time. Enjoyed it. Look forward to the next one. Probably a new lake. Might not be a lure we don't use a lot. Maybe we'll just stick to one. Topwater only, spinnerbaits only, something like that. Crankbaits only. We'll just stick to one, or everybody gets to pick just one lure that they want to use, and that's the only thing they can use. Something like that. We'll make it fun, but Greg had fun. He wants to do the next one, so we'll do that. All right. Click subscribe. Thanks for watching.